What's good, Internet? My name is Attack Slug, and welcome back to SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, the road to WrestleMania. 28 days to go. It is still no way out, and I have a last man standing match. I've had not a lot of sleep here, back at it, like I am every day, doing videos, because last night was WrestleMania in real life, and it was an 8-hour show. It was a full shift of work for WrestleMania, to watch an 8-hour show. It ended at midnight. I got to bed at like 1 in the morning, and then got up at 6. So, you know, life. Anyway, there's certainly a lot of things that I want to kind of get into here, or I guess a lot of things. There are some questions, there are some concerns, there are some... I'm trying to think of where to start here with that show. Honestly, had you ended the show at like the 4-hour mark, like after the Ronda Rousey thing, would have been a great show. But kind of after that match, it kind of all went downhill, to be honest, with a lot of the stuff. So, I don't know. There's some things to discuss with that bits of business. But I think first and foremost, they have a habit of thinking that being unpredictable is always good, or that unpredictableness is always a good thing to have, because they want to keep you guessing and keep you watching and asking questions, and that's fine, right? But I don't think being predictable is a bad thing, because you've got bad predictable and you have good predictable, right? So, like, we knew Ronda Rousey was going to win, but that was perhaps the most entertaining match of the night. So, that was fine in being predictable, right? And then when you get into the side of, oh, well, there's good unpredictable, like a nice surprise or whatever, and then there's bad unpredictable, which is like, why did Charlotte break Asuka's streak? Like, what was the point of that in a match that you barely even worked the leg and did kind of a half-assed figure 8 because she was working the arm, and then you only had one arm to bridge, and she still wasn't even in it for that long, and then still tapped out, and that's the end of the streak? That was the... Again, there's both good and bad for being predictable and unpredictable. So, where does that leave us, right? Well, we go to the main event of the evening, because obviously you kind of want to start there as the thing that has the most questions on it, which was that Brock Lesnar retained the title. After 5 F5s. 5. After doing the Randy Orton to Roman there and using his elbow to bust him open hard way. Bloody mess. And then a 6th F5, and he wins the match. Now, number one, who is left? Unless you've actually signed Lashley and are going to bring in Lashley to put away Brock, who is even a believable, credible threat to Brock and that belt? If one F5 pinned Joe, one F5 pinned Braun, Roman kicks out of 5, which I guess makes him 5 times stronger than those guys, and then he still loses. So who even believably would be your victor to get the belt off of Brock Lesnar? Also, we have the greatest Royal Rumble in a couple of weeks, and they announced that belt is being defended at that show. But we know Brock hates to travel. We know Brock hates people. But Brock loves money. So is there enough money in that event to have Brock show up and defend it? Or does he lose it before then? Or does he just vacate it? Like, I've beaten everybody. I'm just going to leave, go back to UFC, and do that, right? So how much of this was all planned out by both Vince and Dana White, who they showed in the building, in the audience, watching Ronda Rousey win? How much of that stuff was all pre-planned, worked out ahead of time, that kind of thing? Because, man, look, I don't mind that being the swerve, right? Had the match been better, you know? I think a lot of folks, you know, might not have wanted Roman Reigns to win, but they accepted that it was inevitable, so just get it over with, you know? You've tried to have his coronation at WrestleMania for 4 years now. This is the 4th main event for his coronation. I think for me, it's a matter of, alright, can you put your belts on your show on Raw and actually have your champion on Raw full time and not like every 4 months, not defending it 3 times a year? Like, that's the thing that kind of gets on my nerves, right? So how do they combat that, I don't know. I don't know. So, there we go. Last man standing. That was multiple. Count ref. Count ref. Multiple attitude adjustments in a row. So, who beats Brock? Does Brock defend? Does Brock lose the belt tonight? Does Brock just leave and vacate the belt? Like, these are all very good questions that hopefully we'll get some answers on Raw this evening. So that's the hook that keeps you watching, because you're like, wait, that was dumb. Why did that happen? And I need to know what happens now on Raw, right? Like, I get that. I've been watching since 1994 to know what happens next. So that's fine. But at the same time, like, the match could have been better, you know? Like, those guys, I would like to believe, can put on a better match. And not just, hey, I'm going to spam finishers, and that's kind of it. Like, I guess that's, you know, current modern Brock. Because obviously, Brock can work regular matches. Brock versus AJ, like last year, was good. And perhaps he could put a lot of that on AJ, but still. Brock is capable of just not having only the suplexes and the F5s. Like, he is capable. So, I'm not sure what the deal is here with that. Now, there's certainly been a lot of talk this morning about, wait a minute, the fact that they did announce that Brock Lesnar has the third longest title reign of the last 30 years, right? Now, that's third behind, because this is the thing, you have to qualify that, right? They only said the third longest title reign of the last 30 years. That means all titles, right? They said in WWE, which means everything, right? Hey Batista, stop punching. I can't. They stopped giving me the triggers to... That was lame. Lame. Pretty lame, Batista. So, that covers all belts, which means that there was certainly a lot of folks saying, well, they're only having him retain and hold so that he beats CM Punk's 434-day reign, which he is now like 62 days from beating, right? And, okay, fine, look, I understand you are a petty, spiteful company, which is that when AJ Lee left, they had her record promptly get destroyed. Alright, fine. But if you have to qualify it, because obviously that's a different belt, right? That's not the WWE title, that's Universal, right? So you say, oh, well, he's longest reigning if you count only the men, and you count only world titles. Because if you're going overall reigns, you're not going to go after Asuka's 510-day reign as the NXT Women's Champion. So that is where he is third. It goes Asuka, then CM Punk, then Brock Lesnar for longest reigns of the last 30 years in the company overall. Unless you want to qualify that as, you know, well, it's not main roster, so it doesn't count, but then they said WWE titles. So that's a WWE, that is a WWE title, so that counts. I'm pretty sure. So that's weird, right? And speaking of weird and unusual and the kind of bad unpredictable, was that Braun Strowman's tag team partner. Braun Strowman's tag team partner was literally a child. Literally a child out of the audience. Apparently it is the son of referee John Cone, which of course it is, because of course it's a plant and, you know, someone who is related to someone who actually works there, right? But at the same time, like, that's your payoff. You built this whole mystery until the day of the show, and that's your payoff? That's the part where, you could have put anybody else in that position and had the same result. You could have called up somebody from NXT. You could have introduced a new superstar that you signed from the Indies and kept secret. You could have done a whole host of things. Hawkins, or Ellsworth, or Joe, or Big Cass, or a wrestler. Like an actual employee from your company. A wrestler. Would have been fine.
Cena did the seemingly impossible. He knocked out Batista. And his reward is a date with destiny at WrestleMania. Tonight's action definitely lived up to the hype. It was amazing. It sure was, Jake. Thanks for joining us for No Way Out. We'll see you tomorrow night, live on Monday Night Raw.
Duct tape? Are you serious? Really? Duct tape?
Welcome to Monday Night Raw. we're one day removed from No Way Out, where both Triple H and John Cena retain their titles. That means one of them will be declared champion of champions at WrestleMania. Speaking of champions, John Cena is heading to the ring right now.
Ever since Mr. McMahon talked about the champion of champions match at WrestleMania, the locker room has been buzzing. The WWE Universe has been buzzing. Tonight, we lead up to that monumental match. And since we're on my home turf of Raw, I volunteered to break things down. Since Mr. McMahon's announcement, a few things have changed, and a few things haven't. What stayed the same is that Triple H and I are still champions, even if our titles got a little remodeled recently. What's a little different is that Vince has thrown a big wrench into the works. That wrench is the ECW champion, Big Show. The three of us will compete in the next 4 weeks in a series of events called the Champions Challenge. That means I'll be slapping Big Show and Triple H around for the next 4 weeks. So I'm pretty excited about that. And whoever wins the most Champions Challenges will pick the match type at WrestleMania. Tonight, I get to choose. And I wanted to involve the WWE Universe. We're going to have something I call the Hype Leader Challenge.
We don't get hype.
Me,
we stay hype.
The Game, and Big Show are all going to have separate matches. When we do something you like, you cheer. When we do something you don't like, let us have it. Simple, right? The one who hits the highest point on the hype meter, and of course wins their match, is declared the winner.
Yay.
So let's start the show.
Whoa, it looks like we're starting the Champions Challenges right now.
Who's it going to be? Oh, look, it's Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler. He's here to show the world. He's here. His name is Dolph Ziggler. Anyway, yeah, so, like, what is the payoff with Braun and a little kid? He can't defend those belts like that forever, right? Like, that kid has to go to school and stuff, right? He can't just, I'm just going to not be at school for a while because I'm going to be a tag team champion. Like, that is ridiculous. Do they have the belts get stripped tonight because he's not a valid employee and therefore cannot be his tag team partner? I mean, that makes sense considering they already announced that Sheamus and Cesaro were going to fight the Hardy Boys at that show at the Greatest Royal Rumble in a few weeks. So, I guess, I don't... But speaking of John Cena here, and we did see the Dead Man, we did see The Undertaker last night for a whole, like, that match was like 2.5 minutes long. It was like, that match was about as long as CM Punk fought in UFC. Like, what was the point of having all that build-up? Having all of that intense build-up with Taker not being there and the rumors and everything else, and then you get to the show, the match happens, which they had a great... The trolling with Elias was picture perfect. It was like, expecting someone was so good, right? And then to actually, alright, we're gonna have the match, and the match is like nothing. Like, it's literally John Cena gets squashed at WrestleMania with like 4 moves, and then he lost. It's like, but, like, alright, I get it. It was an 8-hour show. It didn't need to be any longer. I 100% get that part. But for a match where you could have cut time from other matches, like you could have cut time from other matches and not had this match be like a 2.5 minute match. Like, that didn't need to be the case. And I know a lot of folks are saying, well, Taker's old and he's hurt and everything else and he's not looking great. And I'm like, think about when you had a match, when you had The Rock fight Hulk Hogan, right? And Hogan, at that point in his career, pretty old, pretty broken down, had a bunch of back surgeries. That is one of the hypest matches of all time because of the in-ring psychology. And certainly a thing that Cena and Taker both know how to do in spades. So it didn't need to be a spot fest, bump fest, finisher fest. You could have worked an amazing match without those things. And not had it be a literal squash match. You could have put anybody else in that spot with Taker, and it would have been the same exact thing. And, like, why have all that stuff with Cena? Like, what was the point of that? I don't get it. You know, all that time you had him sitting in the crowd for half the show. I don't get why they would do that. It doesn't make any sense to me. But again, I'm not booking that show, so what do I know? But yeah, that was a bit of really weird. Get that crowd hype, hype, hype. Anyway, so yeah, that was that whole thing. Bray Wyatt was kind of your only real surprise, if you want to call it that, where he reappeared during the Men's Battle Royal and then helped Matt Hardy win the Battle Royal. I guess he's a face now when he's Matt Hardy's friend, and I'm like, I mean, okay, but did the Lake of Reincarnation actually not do anything outside of make him a face? Like, he didn't have any other noticeable changes. It was the same Bray Wyatt, so that was weird. I should have guessed. Looking back at my predictions, I should have guessed that both Raw and SmackDown would each win a trophy, because you can't have both on the same show. That'd be weird. That'd be kind of be overkill with that kind of stuff, right? So, looking back, I'm like, oh, I messed that up. That's my own fault. Didn't think about that hard enough. My bad. Is it a matter of having to end it with the hype meter high enough, or just having it all the way into the red? Is the thing here? I'm not actually sure how this hype meter works, but we're gonna keep on hitting moves and finishers and whatnot. Now, speaking of good unpredictable, Nakamura having a heel turn was well done. Now, the match itself, not so much. So, were they told to have it toned down? Was it not given enough time? Like, the match was just not really much of anything. And I kind of felt like it kind of fell flat for as much hype as that thing had for being a dream match and everything else. We're like, yeah, but it kind of really didn't fill that need, to be honest. So, I'm kind of curious. Yeah, we'll do one more. Look at that hype meter. Maximum hype. Maximum hype! So yeah, I am looking forward to seeing how that goes, and it looks like that, you know, with Brock still champion, and your pay-per-views being inter-brand pay-per-views now, that AJ and Nakamura should at least be doing those headline matches for those shows where Brock's not going to be there, because he's Brock.
His best score on the hype meter.
94.
We all know the fans love Cena, and the score reflects that. I'm not sure Triple H or Big Show can beat it, but I'm sure they're going to try.
I mean, Big Show's a heel, so.
We'll see how he fares.
Beep, 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 beep.
Good in that match, but the
50. He got a 50. Lame, Big Show. Alright, we get it. I can't skip that. I can't. It won't let me skip that. 62. You guys are just bummed.
Cena wins the challenge. That's a victory for Monday Night Raw on Monday Night Raw. I couldn't be happier. These three will compete in another challenge again next week. Only then it'll be on SmackDown. Good night, everybody.
Otherwise, we had Seth as your new IC champion, which is fine, and the modern-day Maharaja as your new U.S. champion, which is fine. They really enjoy having a foreigner hold the U.S. title as a heel. That is a thing that they do a lot. But man, how hype was that crowd for Rusev? Rusev Day, and nope, he gets pinned. Oh well.
Welcome to the Windy City for Friday Night SmackDown. It's full speed ahead on the road to WrestleMania. And tonight, it's round 2 of Mr. McMahon's Champions Challenge.
SmackDown's own Triple H is in charge of naming tonight's Champions Challenge.
I'm sure the cerebral assassin has thought long and hard about what his challenge will be.
Cena got his pick of the Champions Challenges last week with his little hype meter thingamajig. But this week, it's my turn. As Mr. McMahon said, the superstar who wins the most Champions Challenges, also known as me, the game, will have his choice of match type in the Champion of Champions match. But rest assured that no matter who chooses the match type, nothing can help John Cena and Big Show. Because at WrestleMania, I will be unstoppable. I am the King of Kings, and I will be the Champion of Champions.
Can I save, though? Like, seriously?
But on to tonight. Everyone knows the pedigree is the most devastating move in the WWE.
Sure.
Tonight's challenge is the finisher marathon. Each of us will be in the ring for 3 minutes, and we'll see how many times we can hit our finisher. My pedigree, Cena's throwback, and whatever Big Show does these days besides grunt. Whoever hits theirs the most gets the point. Did I mention the ring will be surrounded?
Inferno match? Cool.
In flames.
Nice.
Now then, it's time to play the game.
But I want to save the game. I'm just sitting here for a half an hour game. I'm sorry. I got things to do today. What the hell? No, let me save!
Time has expired for Triple H.
Oh, okay.
And that was certainly a lot of pedigree.
Can't save, though?
I've never seen so many in one night. That was awesome. John Cena is up next, ladies and gentlemen.
Please go to the locker room. Please go to the locker room. Oh, thank God. So in my hazy... Oh, phone call. Phone call.
John, it's Randy. I want you to win this whole Champion of Champions business. Understand? That way, you can bring it back to Raw, and I can RKO you and take it home with me, where it belongs.
Alright, sure, fine. Saving the game. Save the game. So tomorrow I'm supposed to hit 9 finishers in 3 minutes. I have my doubts on that one. Anyway, I'm Attack Slug. Thanks for watching. More videos every day. See you next time, right here on this channel. And I'm out.